Born January 2nd, 1913, in Des Moines, Iowa, Robert Young entered a world where aviation was becoming a global force for change, and he was destined to be part of it. Moving with his family to Forest Grove at the age of 12, he began flying lessons in 1932, utilizing a scholarship given to him by his aunt. He studied at the Oregon Institute of Technology and flew out of the Swan Island Airport with instructors that included the famous Tex Rankin, earning his pilot's license in November 1933. 6 months later, he repaid his aunt by flying her to her former home in Kansas in an open cockpit Great Lakes biplane. It turns out the month-long trip was his first cross-country flight. Young went on to fly in air shows performing aerobatics, flew demonstration flights for Taylorcraft aircraft, and participated in the 1937 Oregon Pilots Association Air Tour, which took a fleet of aircraft to various cities around the state to demonstrate the reliability and safety of modern aircraft. By 1941, Young, like many flyers of the time, knew that the war in Europe would soon involve the United States, so he offered his services to the Army Air Corps. Despite the Army's growing need for pilots, he was rejected due to his age and the fact that he was married and had a young child. Undeterred, he met with the recruiter for the Royal Canadian Air Force in Portland and signed up. Assigned to No. 8 Bombing and Gunnery School, he flew the obsolete Fairey Battle Attack Bomber, which was used to train bombardiers and gunners. Then, after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in December, the U.S. Army decided it really did need Robert Young and offered him a commission. Upon his release to the U.S. Army Air Force in 1942, Young took multi-engine training and flew the C-46 Commando and C-47 Dakota. From there, he was assigned to India in 1943 to fly supplies over the treacherous route across the Himalayan mountains known as the Hump. The Hump was plagued by bad weather and unforgiving terrain and saw the destruction of hundreds of aircraft and the loss of thousands of lives in an effort to keep the Allies supplied in China. Young flew 142 missions across the mountains in an 18-month period and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Air Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster for his service. After the war, Young returned to Oregon and served 20 years in the United States Air Force Reserve, flying a variety of cargo aircraft until his retirement in 1972 with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. He continued to fly for pleasure as a sport pilot in Oregon for another 9 years. Young moved to Midway, Oregon in 1975 and eventually became the fire chief for Midway after helping the community purchase a fire engine. He continued to serve in that capacity for 20 years. Robert Young also had a retirement home in Sisters, Oregon, and passed away there in 2000 after a lifetime of service to his community and his country.